sector. Now, Basil Read operates throughout Africa and was founded by Mr. Basil Read in 1952. The company ended its financial year with its strongest order book in nearly 6 decades, including a contract to construct a new airport on St. Helena Island. Now, Basil Read has a market cap of 1.5 billion rand. The company made a loss of 170.9 million rand for the full year to end December 2012, but did recently declare a special dividend after having sold TWP in 2012. Now, 1952, this is 2013. We're talking a long history here. They must be doing something right.
Well, yes, that they're still in existence as a construction company. Well done to them. And we spoke a minute or two ago about the pressure in Raubex when it came to road construction, but they had the bitumen. These guys ran out of bitumen. Right. So if you look at the results that were recently announced, they made losses of more than 100 million rand on 2 projects, one in Botswana and one on the N12 in KwaZulu-Natal near the Tom Jones interchange.
Right. So
it shows you that they might still be in existence, but they've slipped up a little bit when it comes to some of these road contracts.
Absolutely. So it's tough conditions, and still there's no light at the end of the tunnel, because I'm looking at that graph, and that graph shows me that company, I mean, between 2009 and now, we're looking really at, it's certainly more than a halving of the share price.
Yeah, well, their net debt position, as we were discussing off air, has improved substantially following the sale of TWP. I think investors got paid out about 250 million, so they kept over 600.
Would you have suggested that perhaps they keep the rest of the money anyway and strengthen for the long term rather than give some money back to shareholders?
They hadn't paid a dividend for the better part of, I think, 18 or 24
value
months.
Destruction.
Yeah, so, you know, maybe shareholders were knocking on the door, including the outgoing chairman, I think, who was a fairly sizable shareholder, as is, I think their biggest shareholder was Amabubesi,
right.
which is the Insalubi inside of, you know, South Africa's biggest black accounting firm. Yeah, interesting, because you know that contract at St. Helena, I think it's 3.2 billion rand. So it constitutes roughly 30% of their order book. I mean, it's not a very long runway by global standards, as far as I understand it. And the only commercial airliner, 737-700, I think, or 600, I don't know my Boeing that well, could only fly in, I think, from Angola. So, you know, it's not a major project. To give you an example, I think the Uppington runway, which is the 5th longest runway in the world, is 3 times the length of St. Helena. So it's a big contract, but
for them.
For them, exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So where do we stand in relation to this going forward? Because the market seems to be saying, hello, there was a bit of optimism, or was that the special dividend?
That was the announcement of the TWP sale.
Yes. Okay, and the shareholders expecting, so probably that's why they were pressured to have to come back and declare a special dividend. Hot or not for you?
Once again, I'm trying to see the silver lining here. I think that the cash infusion of TWP will be great for them to bring down their debt, because before that they had a lot of debt. And for a construction company, for a cyclical industry, you don't want that much debt. So that's going to be a big benefit to them. And then once again, with all this cash, they can now bid for bigger projects, and they can complete City Lina, hopefully at decent margins. So it looks a bit better than what it did a month ago, but still not hot for me.
Not hot for you as well.
Yeah, and I worry about the mining element too. You know, I mean, I think Marikana might have made a lot of mining companies, you know, at least put on hold for 6-12 months. Now, for construction companies, 6-12 months is a long time. For a mining company, not so much. I think they, at the moment, they have the contract to do Shaft 17 at Implats. So it, you know, just for me, again, it goes back to the whole cyclicality of it all, and it's almost just on a kind of a 6-month by 6-month type basis. You know, you're living when times are tough and when times are good, and I'm sure they will be good, but for the moment,
you
not
are
hot.
running away from them. They are not hot.